They were with you when you felt unbreakable, and with you when you had your heart broken. They were with you when you shared your love with the world, and with you when she became your world. They're still with you right now. But how well do you know them?
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you both. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Good evening, my name is Mary Lee Oliver and I'm joined by Larkin Carden, and tonight we'll have coverage from Auburn basketball welcoming both College Game Day and Kentucky basketball into town, gymnastics traveling across state lines, and how one former Auburn player was able to bring home a Super Bowl.
All that and more tonight on Sports Night in Auburn.
Auburn men's basketball came off 2 big wins last week and a close one against Ole Miss before welcoming in Kentucky to Auburn Arena for one of the most hyped matchups in Auburn basketball history.
Auburn basketball was ranked 17 in the AP poll, and the Kentucky Wildcats across the court were a few spots ahead at 13 before the game tipped off. Eagle Eye was there to bring the highlights from Auburn Arena.
A sellout crowd, College Game Day on the Plains, and 49 total fouls. In a game that was nothing short of exciting, the number 17 Auburn Tigers hosted the number 13 Kentucky Wildcats here in the Auburn Arena.
Kentucky held the lead for the majority of the game, but the Tigers never stopped fighting. If Kentucky scored, Auburn was quick to put up a basket and keep the lead within their reach. In a game full of fouls, Auburn's 33 for 44 free throws proved key. The Tigers had 42 total rebounds compared to Kentucky's 28. Out of those 42, 28 were offensive, with 17 of them turning into second chance points. Auburn's defense started hot and stayed hot for the whole game. The Tigers shut down Nick Richards and Ashton Hagans, 2 of Kentucky's best players. 4 Auburn players ended the game with double digits, with Samir Dowdy leading the team at 23 points. Right behind him was Isaac Okoro with 14. The Tigers did not gain the lead until there was 4 minutes left in the second half, thanks to a 3-pointer from D'Angelo Purifoy. But from there on, it was all Auburn. With a final score of 75-66, the Tigers downed the Wildcats in a historic night.
With the win, the Tigers' record moves to 19-2, 6-2 in the SEC. Auburn will travel on Tuesday, February 4th to Fayetteville, Arkansas to take on the Razorbacks. From Auburn Arena, this is Delaney Barra, Eagle Eye TV.
A few members from Auburn student media were able to speak with College Game Day hosts on Friday before the events from the weekend took place. Hosts Reese Davis, Jay Billis, and Seth Greenberg gave advice to the students while also previewing the game and giving the Auburn fans a unique perspective since College Game Day had yet to be on the Plains for basketball.
We go to where we think the best games and best atmospheres are each week. Our bosses decide that, and we were thrilled when they decided on coming to Auburn and having Kentucky and Auburn play, since they've traditionally been so good, and then last year had 3 epic games, especially in the Elite Eight. It's going to be a great atmosphere, and we can't, not only for the show, it'll be a great atmosphere for the show, but it'll be a great atmosphere for the game. So I'm looking forward to seeing it up close and personal.
No, we're really excited to be here. I mean, I said this yesterday in the video I did. The thing about game day is there's only 8 of them. And it's not just given out, it's earned. And, this team and this program has earned it by how they've played and what they've accomplished and what they're building and the energy, the jungle, the enthusiasm. This became a big game.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing when you compare. Now, I've been here. I've called games in the new building here when I was doing SEC games, so I've seen it. But there wasn't the level of excitement around it because it was pre-Bruce. So I'm looking forward to seeing the energy in the building. We love going new places where they're really excited, and we're hoping that there's a tremendous turnout. I heard one of our guys who was here for the site survey said that they were asking about the all-time record crowd. We said, you might not want to deal with that because Kentucky put 22,000 in for game day. So they're not getting that unless you're going to tear down the building and add some more seats before tomorrow morning. But, we'd love to see the place full and see it be loud and raucous and show people what Auburn basketball is about. Now, we're really excited about coming.
When Bruce was working for ESPN when he took the job, and remember talking to him about it, that he was going to do a great job here. That's just sort of what he does, and he did it at Tennessee and here. So I'm not surprised, just really impressed, and always have been with the way he goes about it. He's a great basketball coach.
Look, he's won at every place he's been, and part of winning is evaluating. And I think that what they've done a great job of, whether it was at Southern Indiana or whether it was in Milwaukee or whether it was at Tennessee, is evaluating. Knowing who can play for you, your style of play, evaluating guys up. Because when you're building a program, you're not sexy to the best players, but seeing something in Brown, seeing something in Hopper, seeing something in a McLemore, that's really important. That's really important. I knew he'd bring them energy. I knew he'd get them to play hard. I knew they'd be incredibly well coached and prepared. They'll understand what it takes to win. I think the greatest thing Bruce does is he will look at a team and his opponent and say, all right, where can I attack? What do I have to give? What am I going to take away? Where can we take an advantage of in winning the course of the game? And I think that's his genius. So he's as good as any in doing that. So did I think he was going to win? No doubt about it. You got a world-class university with tremendous, passionate fans and a commitment. This thing right here. A lot of guys have all those things I just said, and you don't get a chance to get one of those. And one play away from playing for championship. You got to be a little bit fortunate for that. But I knew he would win because that's all he's done.
Once the event Saturday morning got started, students were lining up at 3:30 in the morning to get a chance to be seen on ESPN. Let's take a look at some sights and sounds from College Game Day.
The first time ever College Game Day was here in Auburn, Alabama for the matchup between the 13th ranked Kentucky Wildcats and the 17th ranked Auburn Tigers. College Game Day here is just now wrapped up, and we'll bring you all the sights and sounds later on today. Reporting from the Auburn Arena, my name is Tim Humphrey, Eagle Eye TV.
After 2 crucial conference wins, Auburn moved up 6 spots in the weekly AP poll. Auburn took down the unranked Ole Miss team on the road and the 13th ranked Kentucky squad on Saturday inside Auburn Arena. Auburn's jump 6 spots in the poll is one of their largest of the season, and Bruce Pearl has the Tigers poised to move up even further as we work into the meat of the conference game slate. Let's take a look at the full top 25 for the week.
Ranked at number 1, we have Baylor. Number 2, Gonzaga. 3, Kansas. 4, San Diego State. 5, Louisville.
At 6, we have Dayton. 7, Duke. 8, Florida State. 9, Maryland. 10, Villanova.
11, Auburn. 12, Seton Hall. 13, West Virginia. 14, Oregon. 15, Kentucky.
16, Michigan State. 17, Iowa. 18, LSU. 19, Butler. 20, Illinois.
21, Creighton. 22, Penn State. 23, Arizona. 24, Colorado. And at 25, we have Houston.
Larkin, is 11th a good spot for Auburn?
Right now, I think what it means to be in the top 10 is to be consistent. And unfortunately, Auburn has not been consistent. When they're home, they're amazing. They have that hype up from the crowd, just like what they needed to win Kentucky. But if they want to move up in that top 10 place, they're going to need to play the same way as they do at home on the road. Coming up, we'll take a look at everything else going on in Auburn, from gymnastics on the road to women's basketball's pink out at home. You're watching Sports Night in Auburn.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual, and she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you and we'll figure it out."
I'll be right back. Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Welcome back. Auburn Gymnastics visited Athens, Georgia this Sunday to take on the Georgia Bulldogs.
The 18th ranked Tigers put up a season-high road score of 196.350, but they would fall to the Bulldogs, who finished with a 197.425. Freshman Cassie Stevens earned the first all-around title of her career with a score of 39.250, edging teammate Drew Watson, who finished with a 39.225.
The highlight of the day's performance came on the second rotation on vault for the Tigers. Auburn was able to put together a season-high 49.3, and Watson was able to earn a share of the event title. The rest of the scores were as follows: a 49.1 on bars, a 49.3 on vault, as we said earlier, a 48.7 on the floor, and a 49.250 on beam.
Auburn women's basketball was back in Auburn Arena yesterday after dropping a closely contested game on Thursday against Mississippi State. The Tigers welcome in the Vanderbilt Commodores to the Plains, and even after going down early, Auburn was able to take their best free throw shooting day to a win by a final of 70-62.
Auburn was able to avenge a 22-point loss to these same Commodores in Nashville earlier this season by forcing Vandy into 22 turnovers and converting on 18 of 20 free throws. Deja Alexander and Lauren Hansen each finished with 18 points, with Alexander adding 4 assists and 3 steals, while Unique Thompson notched another double-double, moving her to within 1 of the Auburn all-time record. She had 15 points along with 12 rebounds.
In other Auburn sports, equestrian was on the road for a California road trip to kick off their spring season over the weekend. That included 2 stops at UC Davis and Fresno State. The top-ranked Tigers took on UC Davis first on Friday. The top-ranked Tigers walked away with a 13-7 win on the road and moved their record to 8-0 on the year thanks to a pair of 4-1 victories in both horsemanship and flat. Then on Saturday, number 1 Auburn went to number 4 Fresno State, and after a hard-fought afternoon, Auburn kept its undefeated streak alive with a final of 10-8 highlighted by a 3-2 score on fences for the Tigers.
In other Auburn athletic news, Auburn volleyball has found their next leader for their club as former University of Southern California coach Brent Crouch has been tasked to lead the Tigers back to the top. Crouch has stated he wants to have a teaching perspective when it comes to athletics and looks to build that from the start. Coming up, we'll take a look at everything happening for the rest of the week here in Auburn Athletics. You're watching Sports Night in Auburn.
Yeah, Sam, Elmo. Oh, hey, Julia. Are you ready to play band with us? I'm going to play my clarinet. And Elmo's going to play his drum.
Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
Mm-hmm. With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still has to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
My text to emoji ratio has gotten a little out of hand.
A little?
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call right home.
Yo, Scott.
Hey.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car back. I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
You know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long.
You know, I think I'll just...
Dude, are you okay?
You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Sports Night in Auburn. Let's take a look at everything happening here on the Plains this week. On Tuesday, men's basketball heads to Fayetteville, Arkansas to take on the Razorbacks at 6 p.m. The game can be seen on SEC Network.
On Thursday, men's golf heads to Hawaii to take part in the Amir Ari Invitational, the tournament lasting through Sunday.
On Friday, Auburn Swim and Dive hosts Day 1 of the Auburn Invitational with prelims starting at 9:30 a.m. and finals at 5 p.m. The meet will run through Sunday with the same teams each day for events. Softball takes on the Baylor Bears in Clearwater, Florida at 11 a.m. and then Notre Dame at 1:30 p.m. Men's tennis is at home versus Florida State at noon and then the Citadel at 5 p.m. And the big event for Auburn on Friday, gymnastics takes on the University of Kentucky at home on Friday night at 6 p.m.
Saturday is another big day for Auburn Athletics. Softball starts their day against Liberty at 9 a.m. and then Texas State at 11:30 a.m. Men's basketball is back in Auburn Arena, welcoming in LSU at 11 a.m. with that game being seen on ESPN2. And number 1 ranked Equestrian heads to Athens to take on the Georgia Bulldogs at noon.
To finish out the week for Auburn, Sunday brings women's golf at the Northrop Grumman Regional Challenge in Palos Verdes Estates, California, with the event lasting all day. Men's tennis heads to Georgia Tech at 10 a.m., softball takes on Illinois in Clearwater, Florida at 11 a.m., and to finish it out, women's basketball looks to get some payback against Alabama in Tuscaloosa after their loss earlier this season. That game can be seen at 2 p.m. on SEC Network. That's all for tonight. Thank you for tuning in to this week's Sports Night in Auburn. Be sure to stay up to date with us on our website, eagleeyeauburn.com, on Twitter at EETV_sports, and on Instagram at EagleEyeTV. I'm Mary Lee Oliver.
And I'm Larkin Carden. War Eagle and good night.
Your girls have been with you through every moment of your life. They were with you when you